Hey, are you Chuck?
Oh man, they won't change that flyer. That's my mainland name. My Hawaiian name is Kunu.
Oh, cool. Sorry. Yeah.
Nah, it's all good.
Does Kunu have some cool Hawaiian meaning?
It means Chuck. I plugged it into a database. There's a thing you can go on the internet. You just type in your name, and it just says it. What's your name?
I'm Peter.
Peter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a Hawaiian name.
Oh, great.
Kyopi.
Great.
Kyopi, looks like you got a little pain behind those eyes.
Yeah, maybe a little.
There's really only one cure for that.
What's that?
Weed. You got any? Well, let's go surfing.
Ahoy, tent pirates, plant parents, conscious consumers, and the morbidly curious. Welcome to Cultivation Conversation, a podcast for growers by growers. Come chat with our hosts, Captain Autoflower, the Real Green Monster, and myself, Girl Go Grow. Grab a bouquet of your favorite flowers, apparatus of choice, and don't forget the fire while I tell you about the special companies that help keep this ship afloat. We are busy people, and we demand the best for our plants, so all three of us automate our grows with Autopots. Available in over 63 countries, gravity-powered Autopot systems rely on no pumps, no timers, and no power to operate. This plant-driven automated watering is so precise, it will reduce consumption of feed while increasing yield. An effective and efficient way to delegate a little responsibility. Let your plants feed themselves. Use code CC10 at autopot-usa.com. If quality is the name of your game, look no further than AC Infinity. AC Infinity's grow tents, lights, accessories, and ventilation systems offer reliability and affordability along with total environmental control. Use code CULTIVATION on acinfinity.com to save even more. Frass Valley produces the highest quality superworm frass. Naturally strengthen your plants and enhance their resistance to pests and disease. Use code CC10 at frassvalley.com. We are big fans of Mass Hydroponics. Whether you're a local in Massachusetts or accessing their full online catalog, they are your one-stop shop for all of your growing needs. Use code CC10 at mass-hydro.com.
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land? Happy Tuesday.
Hello, my darlings.
Yo, what up, guys? Special guest tonight. We've seen him once before. Familiar face to the family. It's Mr. Alabrije Genetics.
Yo.
What up, dude?
Good to be back. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure, man. I can't even believe it's been like a year, right? Since
it's insane how time flies.
I
mean, the last time I was here, I was about to do my first drop, and we're about to do drop number 6, I think. No, 7, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Well,
I'm a little high.
Right. I'm extremely high right tonight. Oh, I was telling the guys before the show, I am unusually high for show night. I mean, for any night for that matter. It's just celebrating a recent, very bountiful harvest, as I'm sure most of you know. And man, we have it all lined up. Just the stars aligned. You got a drop coming up, right? August 1st or 4th?
First.
And that's we're
doing full moon drops now. What's the August G3?
Oh my gosh.
I can look it up real quick.
July is buck. What's August? Let's look. I don't remember.
It is
Sturgeon.
the corn moon.
Ooh,
What are
lovely.
you guys talking about right now?
Each
At
full
different
moon.
full moon has a different name.
Okay, gotcha.
We've
Some
just been doing seasonal drops, so
That's
like
cool.
that's our summer is going to be August 1st. But I thought it was fun to align it on the full moon.
Hell
Gets
yeah.
the energy flowing.
Yes.
Right?
Love it.
Very pagan vibes. I like it.
No doubt.
So which one is coming up now in that August 1st drop? The frog zebra, if I'm not mistaken.
The frog zebra, yeah, that's the dazed sabrana.
Nice.
Which is Malawi Northern Lights from Ace Seeds, crossed to one I call it Steve's Purple Acid. It's purple microdot cross with purple nuggets. But it's the whole thing is very much Malawi leaning. It was a Malawi pheno of the Northern Lights cross, and the offspring I've tested has all been very much leaning to the Malawi, which is awesome. I love it.
Right?
It's very daisy, gassy, limey. It's cured out to be very chem. It smells like bleach at times, or chlorine when you open the jar, honestly. But then you grind it up, and it's kind of like a nice fresh mango smell sort of comes out. It's changed a lot through grow and cure.
Wow.
Yeah, I brought it up for you.
Nice.
And just, to remind everyone, like, you got the coolest artwork, dude, out there. You got the coolest artwork. So this is the Dazed Sabrana, which, yeah, that's how I imagine a frog zebra, Alabrije, for sure.
I don't know if I can imagine a frog zebra.
It's a weird one.
You don't
like,
have to.
now that I see that,
luckily,
yes, okay, obviously.
you
But
don't
if
have
somebody
to.
were like, imagine a frog zebra, it just doesn't work.
I reached out to the artist, and I kind of gave him pretty much free reign. It was a Mexican artist down in Guerrero. And I just reached out and said, can you make me a frog zebra Alabrije? I'd seen some of his other art, and he's done like beer can labels for different craft breweries and stuff, and his stuff looked cool. And so I reached out, but he did it all. All credit to him. Barbus illustration.
Well, it's super cool. I'm sure you get the sticker that comes with it too.
Sticker and the pen.
Do you have? Is this one right here? Which one should I click on to show a picture of the flower real quick?
Yeah, that one right there that you're
this
over.
Guy. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Wow.
It's very, very much the Malawi structure, and has a lot of uplifting. I mean, it ends up kind of being like hybridized effects, I'd say. It can, if you're tired, it can kind of put you to sleep in the afternoon. But if it's in the morning, it's pretty uplifting and very creative. So
nice, dude. Yeah, that looks fantastic. I mean, shit. I'll be there on August 1st.
How tall does she get?
So I've only done 1 and 2 gallon testers, and probably got up to my, below my shoulder, so up to 4 feet. If you gave it a look, I mean, in a autopod, much taller. I haven't pushed it to its full limits for sure. So I definitely look forward to seeing the community do that.
Oh yeah. Well,
nice.
I can imagine it gets tall. It looks very sativa leaning. Narrow leaf. Narrow leaf.
It's a narrow. Yeah.
Well, I'm reading the description. It says fresh plastic bouncy balls, diesel, creamy sweet flowers, and a hint of lime. Bouncy ball.
That was my wife pulled
Terps.
bouncy ball terps. We both will, we're both smelling it while it's fresh on the plant, and then we're both smelling it through the cure, and then we're both smoking on it for a while, and enjoying the change and the progress as the terps continue to cure. And obviously, as we're opening the jar each day, a little more are evaporating off and things, especially as we enter summer in my neck of the woods. It's getting pretty warm. So yeah, we're losing probably some of the precious volatiles, but it's kind of nice to see the underlying chem. I didn't really realize was there actually,
Yeah.
but I smelled a lot of diesel, but this chem profile is coming out more, which was unexpected.
I love chem. I love it. Well, to be honest, I think you missed a naming opportunity though. Like, I'm going to have to recommend this to any breeder out there who can find a bouncy ball pheno. Okay, rubber balls and liquor.
That would have fit. That would have fit.
Rubber balls and liquor.
I love it.
Rubber balls and liquor. Well, so that looks awesome, dude. And the chem thing, right? Like and we're gonna get into it because, man, we totally skipped over our "What are you smoking on" segment, but I guess we can always hit the brakes and get into it because that's a nice segue into the chem discussion, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What you got, Monster?
I am smoking on a little bit of fresh pressed anaphylaxis flower rosin. And it's fucking delightful. I'm getting like a heavy, like almost like hazy, like doughy like taste from it. And I'm really digging it. Really digging it.
Hazy doughy.
Yeah.
So like that.
I get like a little bit of citrus too on the back end, but not much. It's enjoyable though, and I like the effects. It's it'll put you on your ass, but it's kind of like a good, like, get shit done type of smoke. Like I want to, like right now, I just want to get up and fucking do shit, and I'm fucking.
And you're stuck with us.
Do some jumping jacks on screen, man. We won't.
Yeah, no, not that much shit. So
start running in place.
But I'm enjoying it.
That's funny, man.
What about you?
Nice. So G3 and I got together over the weekend. Perks of living, close by. We had a little trim party. Right? I told you I would. It was the Work for Weed program.
Yeah.
I told you about.
It was. Paid well.
So we both tonight are enjoying some of Mr. Alabrije's famous Blues Rosso that I pulled out of the dry tent on. It was doing the dry cure thing. Like it was hanging for 12 days and then I put it in tubs for like another 12 days. So it's like maybe 2-3 weeks in the cure, I would say. And fan-fucking-tastic, right? Like, I mean, just look at these buds, okay? Look at these buds, man. The color alone speaks volumes, I think, right? That beautiful lime green, and it reeks, man. It just reeks. We got density, it's not hard as a rock, but it's firm. And like, if I want to break it up, it just kind of like, crumbles right apart like a finely cured product that it is or is turning into. So like, dude, terp wise, smells, I mentioned it before. This is, maybe I have an outlier, okay? But this is the weirdest, like chemiest plant that I've ever smelled, okay? Photo, auto, like, doesn't matter. This is, I mean, and I pulled down 6 plants, okay? Like 4 were photo periods, 2 were autos. And I'm like, the quality of all of them is amazing, like very terpy. And I thought I knew what I was talking about last episode where I'm like, oh yeah, photos, blow autos out of the water, just terp wise, man. Dude, no, I'm rethinking everything. This is so loud and like, it's vinegar. Okay. The profile I get is mostly vinegar. And it's like,
here's the thing. Cap and I pick up different things.
My wife and I do too, honestly. So it's fun to hear everyone's different, descriptors because we're all talking the same language. But what do you think, G3?
So she's kind of a shapeshifter. Like we had a full-on discussion about this, and I get like straight away, like blueberry, kick your teeth in. Like blueberry, but not sweet blueberry, like musky blueberry. And then that goes right into like a vinaigrette, like Cap. Definitely a lot of vinegar in there. So we had that, and then I'd been trimming her for a while. And we went back and we smelled it again, and he's like, now I'm picking up like spray paint. And I was like, spray paint? And after he said that, immediately, yes, I could absolutely smell spray paint. But that
That's
blueberry,
wild.
first of all. But then after a while, like I went back to her and I couldn't smell it. Like I couldn't get that blueberry again. It wasn't as strong. But then the next day I opened the jar, blueberry.
So crazy.
It's
That's
like
awesome.
you get nose blind to it quickly, but it's like it's so strong initially. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I think that speaks a little bit to what you were talking about too, Alabrije, with like as you open the jar throughout the cure and stuff, like it'll volatilize off different terps, different temperatures and stuff, like, and it does shape shift a little bit throughout the process. But this one in particular, like, again, I don't know if I have an outlier, but like different buds of the plant are like, because I do pick up blueberry too. Like some buds are they lean heavily on the blueberry vinaigrette side of the scale, but like the skin of the blueberry, not the sweet part,
not sweet, musky,
the tannins and like that like muskiness, but it's all sour, like turned vinegar. Like it's a nasty kind of like. Yeah, I love it too, man. It's really, really cool. Now, can you answer me that? Like, do I have an outlier, or is this something like in that dog walker stock, in that chem?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely spawning from that Ken dog walker. It was a straight up blueberry slushy dog walker cross. They're F1s, so most of what I saw in my testing, I've grown at least 12 from that select round, and they were all pretty. I saw characteristics of both. I didn't see one that like heavily leaned one towards the other. They all, for me, most of mine had the more spear-shaped buds of the blueberry slushy, but they all brought that like funk chem. It's always a very musk spice. For me, it comes out as black licorice a lot of the time, and I kind of pick it up in other strains too, especially when pressing rosin. I feel like you can pick it up a little bit better, but yeah, no, that's awesome. That sounds what G3 described is very much what I got on a lot of them. Was like a citrusy blueberry, but at the same time a very like musky chem, a funk kind of going on.
Oh, it's amazing. Like whatever you did, man, just hats off to you. Like I know I grew the first iteration. Okay. I remember I did the Blues Aroso kind of before you had released it.
That was the version 1. Yeah, I completely scrapped and started over again. What got released on the market was the version 2. But I think that's what you just grew to, right?
Yeah. So now I grew the version 2. And like, as impressed as I was with the V1, okay? And I thought you were insane for telling me you're scrapping it and like going back to the drawing board. This is better, dude. This is way better. I mean, the plant yielded over 6 ounces. I don't weigh them, but like there's almost 7 jars. And I know just from density of the buds, it's a 6-ounce plant, dude. Easy.
That's
it
awesome.
Was ridiculous. He was holding one branch, and I thought it was like half of the plant, and it was more like and it was more like a 10th of the plant.
I kept on having to say like, nope, there's more. There's more.
Yeah.
What made you want
all the same?
What made you want to scrap it and start over?
If there's a couple good episodes of Cultivation Conversation that touch on it, but there's
That was a year ago. For
remember
Christ's sake.
Captain got what he thought was an early ball, and it definitely could have been. I think he plucked it and didn't even let it fully produce. But I had also gotten a couple of I had taken it to F2, and in the F2 I found a handful of herms. And so I really loved what I had seen in the F1s. And so I went back and grew up brand new parents and made the same cross. But this was almost a year later. And I think I had grown a lot and learned a lot about the process too. And so I actually think I made better selections the second time around. So, yeah, I was even more proud to release the second round, and it was originally planned to be our first release, but then it kind of got pushed to our third drop to rework it.
Well, hats off to you, man. Not a lot of
man.
people would just scrap their work like that and start over. And a lot of times too, like when somebody scraps a project, they just move on to something else. But you had enough foresight, enough passion for that project to move on and try it again. So that's pretty cool.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I loved what came from it, and it's been a popular one. So, yeah, I'm happy I did.
Me too. I am very happy, man. And dude, like, so the nature of your drops, you tend to release like one, maybe two strains you've worked on at once, and that's it, right? Like, so for those of you who missed out on the Blues Rosso, like, well, I'm fucking sorry, but like it's too late for you. you blew it.
Go
you
cry
lose.
about it.
Good day, sir. Right? You just it's so but however,
good day, sir.
However, there are people in our community who are doing like preservation work, Autoflower, gene pools. We want to keep this one around in particular. I don't know if you're doing that yourself. Maybe you could shed a little light, but yeah. Are you? Is that a valid question?
I'm not currently working on it. I actually have a ton of projects, and I'm looking
there you
to
go.
grow my setup very soon. Hopefully this fall into the winter. I would like to triple the space I'm working in.
Hell yeah.
To try
Right.
to accommodate what I have planned.
Man, I can't wait to see you with like you ever see? I mean, I'm sure you've seen like Daz's setup and
it's
like
dude,
the
that video
warehouse and
walking
all
down
the
hall.
tents. Yeah, all these tents. That's gonna be you.
That's too
another
much.
year or two, sir.
That looks stressful to me. I would right now I'm operating 5 tents. I could see, going up to 10, 12, just so I can have, testers and, projects going on simultaneously.
Yeah.
I've kind of spawned off and am working I just started this miracle plant genetics focusing more on mixed ratios and more the medical side, more low dose kind of stuff, which I've grown to just enjoy using myself a lot and wanted to do some community projects, sort of collect some data on what works for people and what vibes with people. And then I also have another kind of upcoming project to work on some more wash focused rosin yielder autos with community friend Mr. Autogrow. So sort of stoked to get that rolling soon. But anyway, just a lot of things on the horizon and just need more space.
Don't we all?
Well, where there's need, there's usually a solution. I honestly can't wait to see, man. Yeah, the solution's always one more tent, but in your case, more like a dozen more tents.
Yeah, I've outgrown my spot. I'm looking for some property nearby, maybe put up a little building or something.
Oh, think Monster wants to come down and help you.
You better
set up.
believe I'm going to be reaching out to Monster for some consulting for sure.
I could hear him champing at the bit.
Oh yeah,
I think you're a little far for me. I definitely travel for work, but that might be a little too far.
I'll do some phone consults. I don't know shit about electricity, and
if you're comfortable doing it yourself, I could show you how to do it.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna chat when as the time draws near. I'm hunting at the moment.
That's gonna be your biggest setback or your biggest problem is power. It's always power. You know, it's the first thing I'll ask somebody when they want to set something up, like what type of power we were working with. You know, because that will hold everything back. You know what I mean? It's like people have these huge dreams. Oh, I want to put like a 4-lighter in this room. And then you tell them like, yeah, you can't. You need to add more power to do that. And they're like, what? What do you mean? You know? So it's like it's always the thing that'll throw a wrench in the plans, but it's easy to fix.
No, most of everything I know I've learned from listening to y'all's show, to you in particular, Monster. So, you know, I appreciate you putting the good knowledge out there. And yeah, I do know everyone's specific situation and lighting and, you know, all their equipment has specific needs. So I'll definitely be reaching out when the time is right.
Yeah, brother, glad to help. Always.
Oh man, I love this.
Oh yeah,
dude, blueberry vinaigrette on the taste buds. Now, kind of like, I guess I was saying, you know, you don't release, and you confirmed, you don't release the same strain twice. You drop it, you're on to the next project. You got a million irons in the oven, and like some pretty awesome ones at that. Like we can get into that, you know, rosin project more if you want to talk about that, because I was pressing rosin all day, man. Pressing flower rosin, and I do think there's specific qualities of flower that like you can breed for.
Totally agree. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just on that note, in general, the two I just mentioned, Miracle Plant and the Rosin Project, which I have a name and all the branding, but it's a while away, so I don't want to spoil anything just yet. But I'm having fun brainstorming the branding. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, you tell us more about it at your leisure.
No. I'm happy to tell the general theme of the project is the great debate of photo versus auto, and which one is better. And one of the big qualities lately that the market is leaning towards is extracts and concentrates and things. So that's where autos have sort of fallen short in comparison to photos. And there are a handful of strains out there in the auto world that tend to wash a little better and have a little better yields and terps than others. But in general, it's just something that the photo period world is dominating right now. But I believe it's because no one has really put in a lot of specific work to take a specific cut that's a known washer, a great hash strain, and really work it into the autos. I mean, it's been done. I know Daz did the Wilson with the Creme de la Compton and stuff, and that's known to be a good washer and things. It's not like it hasn't been done, but I want to make a project that's completely focused on that.
2020's focusing on similar things. They want autos to dump too, so
yeah, I'm not saying no one has.
It's good to see people thinking about these types of things to progress Autoflower genetics even further.
I think there's other people definitely talking about it and planning to do it, but I think it's just now happening. I don't think there's anything like super fantastic on the market that's, washing much above 5% in fresh frozen. So that's sort of shooting for that goal of, like having minimum wash. I don't want to neglect flavor. I think that's one issue with the hash industry is that something that might not yield well is just going to get pushed to the side and will never get turned into concentrate. When it does, it really can be something, unique and have a really interesting terpene profile that you just wouldn't get in the flower and you don't see in other, bigger wash strains. But anyway, that wouldn't be the focus for this project necessarily. This one would be focusing more on yield and still trying to have, top-notch flavor, but going after specifically known cuts, that Mr. Autogrow has found himself and selected and has provenly washed, many times, and they're, I would like to ease them in. I've got a few autos in mind to work them in. Tangy Tibaguana being one of them. It's one of those that really, it's just like sandy in your hand. The trichome heads don't bust really easily, and they have really weak necks. So I have a couple in mind, and I'm gonna try it a few different ways. So that's
awesome, man.
It'll be fun.
I can't wait to see that project progress. I mean, we've talked to Mr. Autogrow before, and like, dude, if you haven't checked out his work, you're all doing yourselves a disservice. I mean, truly, he's making some of the highest quality live rosin that you can find. Like, out, and he does have a really, really good cut of this particular, known to be a dumper, the strain itself, but like his cut like takes it to like even another level. The breeder himself said so. Like, I don't want to reveal too much. You guys,
if you follow him, and just shout out to him, by the way, if you follow him and watch his page, you already know what we're talking about anyway.
He's mentioned it on his page.
No, not our specific project together. I just mean his main cuts that he works with and things that, that's what we're going to be into.
Right. So you got up in his, were you begging him for like,
I asked him for a long time. He promised me a couple, but not that top percent. And it was like, well, dude, the whole project is like to try to, make the best washing auto. So we need the best washing photo to do it, and he just pulled like 8% or something the other day off of this thing.
See, he's a believer, man. He can be done.
Well, it's a painstaking process, but I know Cap, G3, and I were all willing to test out, this rosin for you, and I'll let you know if it's fire.
Oh man, yeah. So I was pressing shit all day.
Volunteer as tribute.
Now I know you're talking about hash rosin, which is like different animal, the flash freezing and then washing and. Wait, or vice versa.
It's you freeze it, you wash,
freeze
dry,
and
then you
press.
Yeah.
Now, how about just taking nugs?
That's what I personally do. Actually, I'm a flower. That's what I'm puffing on right now. I'm puffing on some Nancy Reagan flower rosin, which also has that dog walker and also has a little bit of that black licorice chem thing going on. That's why it kind of resonated when you said it.
Nancy Reagan, that
because like right, when I
those are good qualities.
Say no. Just say no to drugs.
No, and I'm glad you posted about it, dude. Like, she was a fucking pill popping fucking skank.
Yeah, she was a big hypocrite. That's a big part of this drug war veteran campaign.
There's a lot of people that don't know, that aren't old enough. They don't realize like who's responsible. The biggest two culprits responsible for the war on drugs and all the damage it's caused and shit. The fucking Reagans.
I didn't know how much they had to, the import. I guess it was the CIA, but anyway. I don't want to spend too far off topic, but
no, we brought it up, man. We brought it up. I gotta bring up your Nancy Reagan project now.
Totally. Well, that's what I'm puffing on right now. It's True Mac from Rock Bud crossed with the Dog Walker, and then that's crossed to the Steve's Purple Acid again.
Oh man.
And it's a very It's got a lot of great breeding qualities. This is going to be the first regular seed we release. And it's actually coming with this, it's this t-shirt. It's this Drug War Veteran t-shirt designed by a community member, Back to the Future. But beneath it says, no one should go to prison, or no one should be in prison for cannabis. And on the back it says, free the plant, free the people. With our logo on there.
I got you on solo layout now. Show the front again real quick. Oh, that's awesome. It comes with that?
So this is it's a little charity fundraiser that we're gonna do, sort of in collabs. It was originally gonna be a little more in collabs with Last Prisoner Project, but they had apparently turned down this T-shirt design previously, but didn't tell me that, and they were like, "Oh, we have to run it by our board of executives," and then the board of executives didn't want their logo on the shirt or whatever.
Dude.
But we were already sort of planning on it, but. They're going to set us up with a family who is struggling because of the primary breadwinner is in prison for a nonviolent cannabis charge. And so we're just going to take the 50% of the proceeds from this little bundle. It's going to be the seeds, the sticker, and the shirt. And we're going to, through them, donate it to a family in need.
God, I love you so much, dude.
I went to prison for cannabis when I was 18, just for three days. I got off with a slap on the wrist, but it was for my privileges. I had a good lawyer. I had the money for a good lawyer, and most people don't really get that opportunity. So yeah, it means a lot to me. And
you're the coolest, dude.
I just don't think
for real.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think it's
awesome.
right.
And what a badass T-shirt! Like, I need that thing. I need it. I mean, the strain's beside the point. Wait, the strain is, but you said it was True Mac, which I grew from Rockbud, right?
Yep.
So that's like super lemony, piney, lemony,
yeah,
bright.
A lot of spice came out. It was really interesting plant. I think on its own, I'll admit, on its own, I don't think it's like the greatest autoflower, but I think it's got some really amazing qualities that will be awesome for breeding. And I really want to see people actively, making some of their own seeds and hitting some of the other fire autos out there. It gets frosty as hell. The frostiest fan leaves I've ever seen. Just rails thick as you can believe, and the leaves are really thick and leathery, and it's super stress and mold resistant. The terps are very like funk, spice, a little fruity, but it's kind of got an odd structure. It doesn't necessarily get to be the biggest. So I think with the right pairings out in the community, it'll actually be like make some pretty amazing plants.
I love it. Do you have a picture of the plant on your page?
I do, yeah.
Yeah? Which one is that?
Get down a little bit.
So many amazing
Wait,
plants.
sorry. I think we missed it.
Seriously.
I think we missed it. Go back up.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
It's like keep going. It's right there on the right. Yep, that one.
This one?
Yep.
Whew. And those are just lowers we're looking at.
Yeah, that's just like in the center of the
Yeah.
plant. I was just trying to show how thick those leaves get with just like lined with frost. It's got some really, really nice breeding qualities to it that I think are gonna
That's
be awesome,
man. Yeah, no, I love the whole project, from the strain name itself to making it connected to like a charity for people struggling because of the drug war, which was largely Nancy Reagan's fault.
Yeah.
It was her platform as the first lady.
Yeah,
that was her thing.
That was her baby.
Yep.
Guess what? Now we're gonna name a fucking strain after you. It's gonna be, no, that's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, I grew up just being preached about say no to drugs, say no, and but never the why. There was never any explanation or reasoning, and I like to think it was just an insult to our intelligence to not explain what the problems were. Of course, there weren't that many problems because cannabis is fantastic, and I would have been using it probably even younger if I had known.
No, you and me both, dude. You and me both. Well, no, I love it. And any ETA on that one?
Yeah, that's also in the August 1st drop. So we're doing 2 Alabrijes and the little drug war bundle.
Two at once. So the bundle, the bundaroo comes with
bundaroo.
both of them.
Yeah. Drug Roar veteran bundaroo.
Drug Raw bundaroo.
We still watch that South Park every Black Friday. It's
such
a classic.
Good one. I love it.
Yeah, and then we're doing the Days Sobrana, and then the other is the Colibrino Funk, which is the Deer Hummingbird, and that's a collab with Hummingbird Hills. It's his Gouda, which is Whiskey Zulu from 2020, and Foot Cheese from Dad Night Owl. And then that's with my dog walker as well again. It is gassy and funky as all hell. It's gross. It's up your alley.
It's gross.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gross.
All right, that is the word that I like to hear, sir. Like it's like, yeah.
If you're only into like fruit and candy terps, it's not for you. It's pretty potent, and it's a bedtime like narcotic.
I don't
I'll wake up
understand
at
people
6
that
a.m.
can't
drowsy.
appreciate all the terps. Like I
I'm
like
a
them all.
triple.
I can appreciate them. I just don't prefer them.
I like them.
No, I didn't mean. I wasn't calling you out. I'm saying like I know people
I mean,
that
honestly, if he's like, if you don't like fruity terps, if you don't like something that's gross, this isn't for you. It's basically like, hey, G3, don't grow this.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I
didn't imply that to you. You were just saying how you like the Kim of the Blues Rosa.
Oh,
Well,
I do like the chem. It's just I don't like gross terps.
I
It's just
think
not my jam. But
I
there are
think-
tons of people who do. That's all in the whole you do you thing, you know? I grow things that smell like
you just
fruit.
have to like
That's what makes me
combine it
happy.
in the right way as a proper introduction to the whole like this whole other world of terps, like a whole new world. You know, it's not fruitiness, it's cheminess. But in the Blues Rosso, we've combined the blueberry and this weird vinegar, like, you know, God knows what is going on. So it's like this nice proper introduction into it. If we could do the
That's
same,
not gross though. Blueberry vinaigrette is not
Well,
gross.
some people would say it is. I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, you probably like more obscure terp profiles than you think you do.
I would say I appreciate all of them. Like they're
Okay.
they're all part of the plant, right? So if you love the plant, you kind of love all parts of it. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna choose something that smells like funky baby diapers over something that smells like strawberry cream. It's just not gonna
Who
happen.
knows? It may choose you.
Yeah, that's the thing
baby
that happens
diapers,
when you
right?
kind of grow. You get it,
Especially
stuck
when you
with
grow
what you get.
autos.
Get what you get, and you don't get
Right.
upset.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have that option to try so many different flavors. That's the beauty, and like you said, of growing autos, you can have a pretty quick turnaround. But yeah, I love strawberries and cream, and I love baby poop, and I love Skittles, and I love.
We're gonna isolate that for the show preview. Just Alabrije saying, "I love baby poop. I love baby poop. I love baby poop."
Can't wait.
I'm just playing, dude.
I had a pretty rank one the
I
other
love
day.
baby poop too. Baby poop terps, of course. We love all the terps. Leave no terps behind.
I did the Deadhead OG from Cali Connection with the dog walker, and I held the bud in front of my wife's nose and asked her what she smelled. That's straight like shit. It smells like human poop. That is
No,
disgusting.
thank you.
Yeah, it really did. It was very putrid and gross, but man, it hit real hard.
Real specific subset of the meat terps.
Yep.
Like, it's a niche group. They stay over here. They tend to make a mess.
Post digestion.
We don't let them hang out with the rest of the swingers at the party. They're into the scat fetish shit. I mean, we got to put a tarp
Strawberry
down.
diapers.
It's not pretty. Listen, when we're talking terps, it's all fair game. Truly, all is fair in love and terps.
The plant is what it is. We just name it. You know. That's why you have to appreciate everything that they created. good on you, girl. You did it. Fabulous. And that's only one aspect of them. So even if they do smell like garbage, they have a lot more offer than just that. However, that's a pretty big part of it. So, yikes. No, thank you.
The diversity is just amazing, honestly. The range of smells and how exact they can smell like certain things is really just a thing of beauty. It's astonishing sometimes.
Man. No, I totally agree. You were mentioning bleach and like what bleach and like chlorine and what was that in the
Days Sabrana?
Yeah, the Sabrana zebra frog.
Only like months into the cure, it wasn't like that at first. It was very this lime. It had that citrus. It was a very limey citrus with diesel. So I see kind of how it spawned, but that's what's fascinating. Since terps are solvents, they are slowly growing. Certain ones are growing. Certain others are depleting that are more volatile. But the heavier ones are consuming plant matter and consuming some of the things in the trichome head as it sits there and cures, and it can actually increase. So that's why you get such an interesting range as it the longer it sits.
Yeah, we got the, like G3 said, the shape shifting.
Yeah, the sweetness especially is one of those things that will develop, with a good cure. Some of those natural sugars you're getting from the curing process. That's one of the things that actually I noticed the most with a good strong cure is that the sweetness of the smoke definitely goes up big time. At least that's usually what I pick up on right away.
Definitely. I totally agree. I find that a lot of these CBD autoflowers out these days have a really similarly sweet profile. It's always this sweet floral, sometimes hints of berry. Sometimes it's just more this like light citrus, magnolia kind of floral, but always very sweet. And I see it over and over in these hemp varieties.
I always seem to pick up like some sort of cherry terp in a lot of the like hemp and CBD varieties. I don't know why. Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah. And again, sometimes that's just like different people's different perceptions and what,
yeah, of course,
they're familiar with. My neck of the woods, it's magnolias, but you probably grew up smelling more fresh cherries or something.
Now, so I think I was I'm trying to hammer the point home once again, that once you release your shit, that's it. Poof, it's gone. You're on to the next project, the next cool thing, which I think is awesome. But like, some people would argue about that. Like, if you got a winner, like, hey, the Blues are Rosso, why not bring her back? Listen, the community can do that, which we are. In fact, I know a few people in the community. I think it's Mac, right? Isn't he doing like a Blues Rosso project? Which Mac's the coolest, right? So
shout out to Mac. Yeah,
he understands the importance of like making a new batch, like another generation of this stock, And now, so in doing so, with your experience too, with like, breeding autoflowers, I want you to kind of walk us through what you would do and when, if you decide one day that like, you know what, fuck this, I want to make my own seeds. I want to have 1,000 seeds. I want to have 10,000 seeds. I want to swim in a swimming pool of seeds like Scrooge McDuck. You could do that if you really want, never buy a bean again. So
quack, quack, motherfucker.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that?
Well, is the density of seeds high enough that you could swim in them, or would you sink to the bottom?
Do the backstroke.
Interesting. I don't know. Yeah, totally. Except for it's actually the other way around, where when you start making seeds, your addiction to buy more. I thought I was going to be buying less seeds because I'd be making my own, but now I need to like collect more seeds for upcoming future projects, and other people, they release things where you don't know if it'll ever come back or not. So like sometimes I feel the need to grab something up, but Yeah, so Mac was doing the tangy Tipuguana.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, that was a fan favorite, and he decided to take that on. So I wanted to assist, and I sent him some extra beans, and I sent him my STS solution. So he worked his first reversal. I walked him through the process, which was this, if you like it. I told him you basically want to start your potential reversals. It's best to pop a handful of seeds. It totally depends on what kind of space you're working with and how much you can grow. But you don't need them big because they're going to be unusable plants. You just want pollen, and you're really just trying to compare them and select the best one. You want it to be healthy, of course. So don't a pint container isn't exactly your best option, but a 1 gallon is fine. So you want to pop more than you need, and then you also want to start spraying more than you need, because this is something I learned the hard way. Just the timing of the reversals with autos is something you have to work a lot with and dial in. But I used to spray at the sign of the first pistil. And it turns out that it works, but it's a little late in the process. The female hormones are already in full swing, and you're behind the gun for sure. So if you've also popped your potential mothers at the same time, you're fucked. And long before Daz did the re-release of Zamodelica Expressed, I lost my last 2 Zamodelica seeds, and I was really sad about it because I learned the hard way that timing is very important. And my other one flowered. I got to enjoy the smoke, but the pollen, just wasn't there in time. So I start spraying now around day 15, 16, well before the first pistil comes out. And again, at that point, I don't know a ton. I'm really just looking at some basic features like vigor, maybe a little bit of stem rub, but they're usually not going to give you a huge clue there. But I'm going to choose, between 4 and 6 to start spraying, because again, at that moment, I don't really have enough information. Then I'll spray every 3 days or so.
Hold on 1 second again, and I just want to clarify real quick too, because we're talking about autos. We're talking about if these are autos that you're spraying for a reversal project, right? And right. What's up, Brandon? I see you out there. If that's you, man, we see he's saying spray when you flip, right? And there is no flip.
There is no flip. Yeah, that's what's easy about photos is you start
and we're
spraying,
talking about day 15 from seed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. So and you time it with the flip, or I imagine. Yeah. So no, we're talking autos, and you meant you're starting to spray day 15, right? Of life.
Yeah.
Above soil.
Yeah. Day 15 from the cotyledons. Okay. Yeah.
And I also want to just real quick mention that we're in a whole separate tent now. We're doing a reversal project, and this requires either we're not going to use these plants to smoke.
Correct? No, correct. You can spray a branch and try to protect other parts of the plant. I don't recommend it. It's easy.
I've heard it's horribly toxic.
I've heard such mixed I would never actually try that.
Cap and I have talked about that before, and there's mixed things out there. I just recommend don't mess with it. I like to spray the whole plant. We're talking about day 15, 16 from the cotyledons. And unlike photo periods, you don't have that luxury of just getting to decide when it flips. So that's why you need to get a little jump on the hormones and get going a little earlier, I've learned.
Yeah, a little earlier than it would actually show its first pistil. And we're talking fem autos too. We popped a bunch of fem autos.
It makes a lot of sense when you think about it, right?
Do a reversal.
Yeah. Because there's a transition period. It's not like there's a fucking switch that's flipped and then they show sex. It's a slow transitioning that starts to happen on its own. So getting that week, 7 to 10 days start makes a lot of sense, I guess. Never thought about it for autos.
Yeah, that's interesting, man.
At day 21, we're getting that first pistil or so, or day 21, day 30-ish sometimes, depending. that's too late, because I mean you'll still get some viable pollen, but you won't get that much. You're still going to get a lot of female flower formation. You'll get a handful of sacs, and they'll produce, but you're definitely over there with tweezers, like rubbing it on pistils of your moms, and it's a little more nerve-wracking when you put a lot of time and effort into the run, and you're trying to get the most out of the seeds. Versus when you start around day 15, 16, you get almost a full conversion. It's like you're not getting any female flowers. It's all sacs. You definitely get better pollen production. It's still not like the levels of what like a regular seed produces. Like reg males dump compared to reversals. In general, I've gotten a few dumper reversals, so it can be strain specific, but in general, you don't. I'm still usually like having to collect some pollen, and I hand apply with a little paintbrush most of the time. But by day 30, I'm usually getting, pretty full formed sacs. And then, it might be another week, 2 weeks before I'm actually getting some like nice sacs opening where I can start pollinating. So I tend to pop my potential mothers roughly, 2 weeks now behind the reversals. And by day 30 or so, I'm able, by that point, I will have called all the other reversals and narrowed it down to one based on vigor, stem rub, just structure, health.
Now, what stage in the, like what, how many days of life would you say they are when you culled all of them except one?
In between days 16, in between the first spray and day 30. So just in a couple week period, I'm just looking for whatever is really just the best looking.
Yeah. So is it just, you're looking for like symmetry? You're looking for vigor, obviously. You're looking, I mean, and you mentioned stem rub a lot.
Yeah, and again, it's not necessarily what it smells like, but maybe for me, it's just like which one might have the strongest smell. And, that's not a guarantee it's the strongest terps, but it's really the closest you can come.
Yeah,
sometimes you'll get those little bracts that form up under the leaves on the main stem, and they'll still form female on the reversal, and you're able to rub them and kind of get a good idea of the terp profile.
The little like
yeah, what are those even called?
To the main stem. Yeah, I think they're just bracts that are like right there attached to the main stem.
Yeah, just little inflorescence bracts. It's the full little flowers there, but they'll still form sometimes. Even that day 16 sometimes wasn't early enough to get out ahead of those hormones that were going to produce those. Those are the first flowers, that tend to form.
Yeah, but maybe by day 30, like maybe by day 28, 30,
Yeah, I'm just saying by that point, at least those little bracts have formed where they're putting out trichomes, and I can get a pretty good lead on the terps. Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. So, again, like you guys can do these types of projects. And I don't think we mentioned, I think maybe people out there know, maybe they don't know. What kind of chemical do you have to acquire to reverse an autoflower?
So I use STS. I make my own solution, and it's made from sodium thiosulfate and silver nitrate. So you just make essentially a solution of each. There's a lot of info on the internet, or you can holler at me in Instagram or Discord. I'll point you in the right direction. I'm sure these guys can too.
Have you heard any grumblings of? I've heard people using something newer recently. I've heard. I can't come up top of my head. Some sort of modified STS, I think, or something.
Yeah, I hear about like the gerbilic acid, something.
Gerbilic. You could find that in like kelp. That's interesting.
Yeah. I tried my first reversal. I tried with CS colloidal silver, and I didn't have any success.
Colloidal silver is not as effective, not even close to as STS. People still use it, but yeah.
So I think you can go on kind of like a little bit of a rabbit hole search for. I mean, it's not hard to acquire these chemicals.
So I got both of mine on Amazon.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
can get them on Amazon. You can even just, I mean, 2020 sells the two, the A and the B. You get them, you mix them. It's like $30, I think, for the pair. They'll send them to you already ready to, well, not ready to go. You got to mix them, but then they're ready to go.
Please make sure you use PPE if you're using these chemicals. They are not safe for humans.
Definitely.
No,
I'm wearing a
What do you mean
mask and
PP?
gloves
Do you
and
mix the PP with
Glasses,
it?
gloves,
glasses.
all of
Yeah.
that.
Wouldn't try to like spray your like little cousin you don't like so much. See if they like turn into one of those transgenders.
Nah, and you don't want it under the light either.
It's a bad joke.
It was a bad
burn.
joke.
It'll burn the shit out of the plant. So I actually moved my plants that I'm reversing into a bathtub that's in the adjoining room, and I just spray them down in the bathtub. I let them fully dry, and then I move them back to the tent a couple hours later once they're fully dry.
Do you talk to them while doing this? Like, okay, it's shower time.
Oh,
Here we go. We're going into the bathroom.
If you don't, you should.
No, I have a very close connection with the plants, and I don't really like stressing them out too much. But no, I've burned plants before. You need to put a surfactant in the STS, so I now use just like a couple drops of Dawn dish soap. But one time I made the mistake of using a little bit of Dr. Bronner's hemp Castile soap, and it had the peppermint essential oil.
Oh yeah,
and that combined with it and burned the shit out of my reversals, and
really?
I had to scrap the whole thing. Yeah.
Fuck, man.
So I've made every mistake you can make. Trust me. From timing to burning the plants to mismeasuring, missing my ratios have been too weak sometimes, and I didn't even get activity. But it's STS is a pretty, like, now I've dialed in my recipe, and it works every time now.
That's awesome. So there you go. You guys want to help the community, I guess, is kind of where it's at. Like, not only are you helping yourself, you get free beans, well, relatively free, but like, you also can help the community by doing like a little bit of like a preservation project, if you will, on stuff that just ain't going to be made anymore. Simple as that. It's really cool. Really cool. So put those spare lights and spare tents and just spare bedrooms, put them all to use, guys.
It's fun. You'll get really into it, and start dreaming up new combinations and creations from some of your favorites, and you'll start obsessively collecting beans if you don't already, which most of us do.
I think everybody should chuck some pollen at least once.
Yeah, it's a great learning experience.
So, all right, we're at the stage in the process then when like we've sprayed them kind of thoroughly, right? You spray the whole plant for like 2 weeks, would you say?
Yeah, I spray the whole plant. You definitely want to make sure you're getting the stems. One of my buddies actually recently told me a new method. He's shout out to Stoney at the Night Owl. He's injecting the STS into the stem.
What?
And it looks like it's working beautifully. But I was gonna say, you definitely want to make sure you're spraying
with
the
like
stems.
a syringe. He's like shooting them up with.
You know what? That makes sense though when you think about it, right?
Yeah,
because you're spraying it to get it to absorb it. You know, like, and you're just fucking mainline that shit. You know,
right? It's really crucial you're hitting the stems and all where it's going to spread to the buds, because you're just trying to inhibit ethylene.
Now, is this at the bottom or towards the top, or does it not matter?
I'm assuming he's probably maybe doing it. He said he's also spraying it too, so this isn't 100% definitive. But it seems like it's working really well, and it's moving fast, and I'm definitely going to try it at some point. It seems like an interesting technique, but yeah, he's also spraying it. But I'm assuming he might be doing it along the main stem. Maybe
I think at each node, right, all the way up.
That's probably what I would do. Yeah, no reason to only hit the bottom or only the top. I guess if you hit the top, maybe it'll just trickle down too. Who knows? But yeah, even just spraying will work. So you just want to make sure you're spraying the stem and the branches really well. I hit everything though. I hit the bud sites really well. Where the bud sites
Sounds
are
wild.
Yeah,
pretty cool. Never heard of that one before. Learned
Yeah,
something new.
it is interesting. I mean, it stands to reason. Like, you're trying to get a chemical into the vascular system of a plant, for a lack of better terminology. It's the same as like literally shooting up a fucking, needle full of opiates or something. It would. I hate to make that comparison, guys. I know it's triggering, and that's why the practice of doing such a thing with plants, maybe just stick with the spraying. But
That's interesting. Brack says he's using a dropper. He's putting on nodes.
Yeah, okay.
I've sprayed plants.
Dropping acid, man. It's like taking a eyedropper full of acid and putting it in your eyeball. You ever do that?
Nah.
It goes right to your brain, dude.
I've sprayed plants only once before, and then I decided they weren't the winners, but it was actually a bonsai project, so it was just for fun anyway. So I let it keep going, and they fully formed the sacs and everything. And
no shit.
Pollen, so it's like, yeah, there's a lot of different ways. There's not just one way. So I could see droppers working, spray, injection.
Okay.
It just needs enough exposure to like stop that that hormone from hitting the bud site.
That is really,
I like it.
Actually super interesting, man. So that's all right. You've culled your other autos that you started. You've found your winner. You based it on vigor, stem rub, whole host of features you found, early on in the plant's life too, that you got to make these choices early on, which is surprising to me. It's a fem auto that's now producing male flowers, and it's producing pollen. You also have to you have to have thought ahead now, and I'm assuming that can you just collect this pollen and set it aside, right? And then start a new set of plants, or do you have to time it and have another tent with autos already going that you're going to hit with this pollen? How do you do it?
So yeah, you can do both, and I do both. I totally collect and save some in the freezer if I might have something down the road I want to try to hit it with. It's not necessarily viable forever, but I put it in little tin with a bunch of open desiccant packets. I mix in a little toasted flour or cornstarch, and then I put that in a baggie with more desiccant packets, inside a jar with toasted rice with more desiccant packets, and then put that in the freezer. So I try to hang on to some pollen, but I do find you get the most seed production if you've timed it right and you're hitting your flower of your potential moms in around week 3, 4. I call it the Guy Fieri stage. When your plants have the Guy Fieri hair, that's the perfect time to pollinate, and you're going to get really good seed production.
The Guy Fieri hair.
Yeah.
I like that. I always say the pom-pom buds, but man, I like yours better, to be honest.
As soon as you
Guy Fieri is kind of a douche.
Yeah, I know, and that's why it's kind of fun to relate him to just a plant. But when you Google Guy Fieri, you just immediately, when you see his hair, you know exactly the stage of flower I'm talking about.
I don't know.
When you've got a lot of nice white spikes.
All right, listen. Do you think Guy Fieri smokes?
Oh yeah,
straight up. I think he smokes crack.
Yeah, I think he probably does a lot of cooking.
I'm he seems a little too.
He's the type of guy
too
dumping
hyper.
Fucking blow on a urinal and fucking you know what I mean? He's I can see him now. You're sitting there and taking a piss. He's like, "What's up? Who's got the booger sugar? Break it out."
The booger sugar.
Fucking
never heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems a little too amped, dude. A little too amped.
A little intense.
But at the same time, the man loves his food,
Yeah, I'm sure he likes to get down.
Wants to go to Flavor Town. while going to Terp Town.
I'm not a fan of the guy, but like honestly, the show Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives is like fun to watch. You're just seeing like the greasy spoon food of America, and it makes you hungry. You know,
All-time classic.
Yeah.
I've never like gone out to the store so fast to buy like some shit that I never knew existed before. After watching something like that, to see if I can make it in such a fashion.
Nice.
If y'all don't know what Scrapple is,
ooh, yeah,
that was one thing I remember seeing on like a Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives, right? And it was around us, G3.
How do you wait? You don't know what Scrapple is?
Yeah, I know Scrapple.
No, I do. I just like, listen. I was not specifically about that, but like, never mind. I'm fucked up. I'm high off vinegar weed.
Cap
Scrabble is like foundational to where we are from in the country.
I know. But like, no, I saw him do that, and I like went out to the store to see if I could do it in the
That's
same
like a
way,
PA thing, though,
but
right?
I couldn't.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I thought it was a North Carolina thing, to be honest. My dad's side of the family is from North Carolina, and it's a bit. My grandfather would get a fried Scrapple biscuit for breakfast all the time.
Yeah, like you can't. There ain't many places that serve that around here. I tried it. I didn't think it was like the worst thing in the world, but I wouldn't order it again.
Some are better than others. I've made homemade, and it turned out pretty good compared to some of the ones you get in like a little, you know.
Yeah, we'll conclude the tale for y'all out there. Well, I know you're all on edge, wondering about like what happened. Wow, so he went to a place near us that served Scrapple G3. It looked delicious. I tried to get some myself and fry it up, and I was like, "Oh, I'm Guy Fieri. Look at me!" It failed miserably. It was awful. Then I had to actually go to the spot that he went, like that he did the episode of Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives at, which was an awesome, good time, great experience. So
all's well that ends well.
Yeah, there you go.
And you learned how not to cook Scrapple.
I learned, actually, I don't think you want to cook Scrapple yourself. It's just one of those things.
Leave it to the professionals.
Yeah, it's good to just have it in a restaurant once. You don't need it many days in a row. That's for sure.
Listen, if you like meat terps, though.
Yeah, get a steak.
All the meat terps.
That's all the meat terps in there, man. So
that'd be
a really funny strain name again.
Have
like
so
there you go, breeders. Just call it Scrapple.
I have a good strain name I'm holding on to right now. It came up and I don't have anything ready for it, and it's like a 4th of July appropriate name, but I'm gonna hold it for next 4th of July. But so I don't want to ruin it yet. But hold out till the next year, 4th, 2024. You
just teased something a year away. People are gonna be dying.
I don't even have the plant. I just have the name.
I know he's just got the wheels churning. He's already got like a year ahead thing. I love it. Dude, have I told you that I love you lately, Alabrije?
Love you guys, man. I love being
You're
on
the man,
show.
dude. Honestly, I'm so pumped for you. I'm seeing like the last year and kind of what you're doing and everything. That's like we're 7 drops deep now, you know. So
it's
congrats,
rolling, man.
Yeah.
We're having fun with it. You know, it's kept me really busy. It started to take up more of my time, but that's a good thing. I love it. Especially the plant part. That's my favorite, is just, you know, making seed and testing flower. I love it.
Me too, dude. And now I want to real quick again touch on the fact that like we're also helping dogs. So how are the Perros doing?
So since we've last seen you, we've done the one mission. I wish we could go to Mexico more often. We just can really only go once a year.
Yeah, it's all right.
And so our trip, mission number 1 was a success. We fed probably more than 50 dogs, at least a couple bowls of food, and we facilitated 1 adoption to family friends, so that was good. Nice, and then our next mission number 2 is coming up in like 2 weeks. We're going to Mexico July 10th through 24th. So we're going to be traveling around. We'll be in Mexico City, Pachuca, Hidalgo. We're going to head up to Puebla and check out some coffee plantations. And
Now, great. Hold on.
Yep. Go back.
When can I buy some Alebrije coffee?
Well, that might be part of it, actually. The
Okay.
town we're going to go to in Puebla is one of the things that inspired me to get into coffee. It's just like the strongest, terpiest coffee, so loud. And I brought home like 5 pounds from this town a few years ago, and it just reeked through my bag, and gave some to my mom. She didn't open it for a long time, and it still just reeked through her freezer every time she opened it. It was like, oh man, terps are flavor, and when it's that aromatic, it was so flavorful and so delicious. And so I just like weed, I wanted to start roasting my own. I want the quality. Even if you buy organic coffee at the grocery store, it's old, it's not freshly roasted. It's just like weed. The freshness is such a crucial part of it, and you see it as soon as you pull a shot of espresso. You can tell how fresh it was just by the color of the shot. And nothing in the grocery store is doing that, and the local roasters are delicious and awesome, and I try to support them, but I'm a coffee addict and it's expensive. So just like weed, I wanted to take it into my own hands and start roasting. So I've been experimenting just on a tiny little roaster. My stuff hasn't been that great. I definitely am waiting until I kind of like get something I'm pretty pleased with on my end, and then I have a local guy with a pretty nice electric roaster that can do larger scale stuff that I kind of want to go like dial it in on with him.
I mean, can I slide up into the DMs and maybe get a sample?
Yeah, I'm to be honest.
There's only one thing I love almost as much as cannabis, and it's coffee. So it's like to have.
Yeah. All right.
I got beans of many sorts coming your way.
Hear me out, man. Like we need to get you on a plot of land somewhere in like Costa Rica or like Mexico is fine. We can find somewhere in Mexico that works. They make world-class coffee. We'll put you up on a hillside, growing your own coffee trees or bushes. What are they? Trees?
Yeah,
it's
kind of a bush tree. Yeah.
So you're like the Juan Valdez of cannabis, because at the same time, of course, you're going to be working on all your separate breeding projects. We're doing all your different things like hash specific autoflowers. The next, the next Alebrije, God knows what it'll be, like a swordfish caterpillar.
Ooh, I like that one.
That would be. How do you even do that? I don't know.
How do you do a fucking frog zebra?
Yeah, I mean,
like that. He showed you.
Right?
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know.
Give it to a talented artist.
The zebra was inspired by Malawi. The frog was partially inspired by, shout out to Reverend Pirate Frog. He's a fan of the narrow leaves. He's always
never heard of him.
It's up with energy, and the strain brought some of that to it. So it just fit.
That's what's up. Shout out to the Rev, man. But
we love you, Padre.
Yeah, right. Check out the Your Average Grow podcast and in Circle. They do every other week. It's always a riot.
Him and Johnny
always.
Yapple.
Yeah, and Johnny. Can't forget Johnny.
Shout out, boy.
Shout out to all you guys, and Stony. Is it Howling Buds?
Yep, Howling and Stony Alpinist.
They are a riot. So keep up the good work. Man, I can see it right now.
So our
Valdez of cannabis, of autoflowers and cannabis.
Ooh, and a doggy sanctuary.
Our dream is
cannabis and canines.
Dude, oh man, dude, it's all coming together. It's all coming together. The 3 C's.
No doubt. Oaxaca is the only state right now in Mexico where they produce a ton of coffee, but it's actually the only state that's adult use legal for cannabis. the whole country is sort of federally decriminalized and is in this limbo trying to, write up the legislation and figure out what the laws and rules are going to be. But Oaxaca stepped up front and said, hey, we're going to be adult use legal. And there's also some cool surf towns that we've been to in the past few years out on the coast. So our dream has been to we need a little live reggae coffee shop where we're growing weed in the attic up above the shop. We're buying the local coffee, a couple miles inland and roasting it there at the shop.
Nice.
This is a dream. Who knows if that's the direction life will take us. We're still kind of staying here for the next little while.
Like a really good dream. Who knows where the winds will take you, like you said, but
yeah, it's fun to dream about,
Right? It is. Could all work out.
I love the coffee shop style. Yeah, I love going to Amsterdam, and I don't drink alcohol anymore, so the coffee shop style is super appealing to me. That could be my new bar. I wish my town had a coffee shop I could go to and light up and have a coffee and just chill.
Dude, some mornings I feel like coffee is my gateway drug into the cannabis.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever feel like I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna smoke this morning, and then I drink 3 cups of coffee, and I'm like, all right, I gotta smoke a couple bowls, get bongs to get take the edge off here, to get that just right level of I'm ready to conquer the world feeling. I don't know, something about it.
They just go together so well.
Mm-hmm.
I know, the old hippie speedball. I don't know.
Great combo.
It sure is, man. It sure is. And I feel like now that I'm feeling some of the effects here, the Blues Rosso, and I'm smoking more and more of it, this is definitely one that I will be partaking in the daytime. I feel like I didn't notice when I grew it that it was sativa leaning, but I would say it is.
I could say, it can definitely fall in the hybrid category where it can adapt. If there's my dialect. If you're feeling a little tired, it can put you out. But if you've just woken up and had your first cup of coffee, it can brighten your day. So right. That's how I feel about the hybrid category. It can just adapt to your needs and your time of day and what you're already sort of maybe feeling a little bit.
Shapeshifter weed.
Shapeshifter.
He gives me I want to get up and do something.
Yeah,
makes me feel and want to wander a little bit, but my brain goes on vacation. Multiple times during the show, I've just been a little bit of that, not paying attention.
Little psychedelic type effects. Honestly, the colors I'm seeing and stuff on my computer screen are much more vivid than normal.
I agree with you there.
This will be one that I'll do. I got so many good ones, guys. I'm like a spoiled rich weed brat right now. I have so many great jars of amazing stuff.
It's ridiculous.
It's all really good.
More weed than I've ever seen in my whole life.
And that's for come on now.
I walked into his house and literally there are jars on every surface.
For every people around every table, us, maybe.
Every couch, on the floor, everywhere. So much weed.
For a home grow operation, it was quite a lot. I'll say that. To have a 5x5 and a 3x3 come down kind of together was a little overwhelming,
Awesome.
There've certainly been larger piles of cannabis out there.
Oh, for sure. I haven't been part of them.
Yeah, right. But I will say it was the largest pile I've seen too. So
it's always a good problem to have, right?
I know.
Hell of a harvest.
I'm I kind of hit the weed lottery. I went from being weed poor to weed rich overnight, but I gotta Usually the first thing you do is not tell anyone and like move towns, a couple towns over. So.
Smash your phone.
I don't want to be one of those statistics.
We'll get really snobby when we're weed rich and we just have a big harvest, and we'll be like, we'll have something in the grinder. It's like, I don't want that one. I wanted to try this other new one. We'll just like dump it out, you know. It's like, whatever, you know, we got tons.
He does that
exactly.
too.
Yeah. You know, I'm like, I only smoke the fresh grind.
Yeah.
Is that from yesterday?
Dump
it out.
Yeah.
Is
Guess
that
what
from
the
5
solution
hours
to that
ago?
is?
Dump
I
it
will
out.
give you a really good solution to that. Is multiple grinders.
There you go. It's so true.
Has to grind less at once.
When you dump it out, do you put it into like a kitchen sink jar where you can like go to it later when you're weed poor, or do you like?
I do. I just roll joints of it and like give it away to friends.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it doesn't totally get
throwing it away.
But yeah, just in the moment, it only happens when we're, you know, like have a big, you know, fresh stash. But you know, when we're like the jar's slimming down, I'll go on and smoke it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
waste not, want not.
I'm the Richie Rich of
you are indeed. Right, you are in the 1%, sir.
It feels nice.
You
what can I say?
Spoon, motherfucker.
It feels nice. But I mean, dude, and again, I had 4 photos and 1 auto. Your auto competed with like largest yield, stinkiest fucking plant. Like it stands on its own in terms of like terpene profile. It's totally different from the rest of the pack. It's just dude, it's refreshing, man. It's honestly, it's really cool.
Thank you. That makes me so happy to hear, honestly. You know, those are our goals. Everything you just said is terpy and unique, and you know, a good yield is awesome on top of that.
I mean, yeah, for an auto, the thing grew to like 4 feet tall. You know, spears of like golf ball, dense nugs. I mean, I showed you. It was all the way up the plant. And 6 full jars.
Even his dog agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I gotta go put him out. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah. Go for it. I mean, we're almost at that time. Come back and say goodbye. Now, here, real quick. I want to bring up.
I have to ask him what type of dog that is. That thing's got a bellowing bark.
Yeah, right. I want to bring up.
Gotta have some hound in there.
A couple people we want to thank, as usual. We want to thank everyone, of course, who joined us in the chat. What's up? Hope you enjoyed tonight. We want to thank. We got On a Mission. We got I'll just say Anthony. And of course everyone else who has stepped up and joined our Patreon.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
We love you.
Yeah, thanks for people using the code as well. And
the code helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you want to, you know, grab yourself. I mean, we got a couple different things going on. What the AC Infinity, Autopots,
Cultivation, Autopots is CC10.
Yep.
Bud Trainer is also CC10. What else do we have?
The worm frass at superwormfrass.com.
And Mass Hydro.
I think it's all CC10 there. So
yeah, I think they're all CC10 except for AC Infinity.
Infinity. Yeah.
And that's Cultivation.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that helps us a lot, guys. So thank you very much. And dude, Alabrije, man, it's been another awesome show. Truly, you like, I say it to everyone, and I mean it to everyone. You know, everyone who comes on the show is part of our family. I feel like you're kind of like an uncle though of the family. Like you're like maybe a little more prominent member. You're coming to the reunion, bringing a lot more to the table, like a big tray of ziti. You know, we love that uncle. So
Well, I appreciate it. I love coming on y'all's show, and I love this community. I've made so many friends here, and I've learned so much, and have grown so much, and I learn a ton from y'all's show. So thank you guys,
dude. Hey, man, it's our pleasure. Honestly, that means a lot to us to hear that.
100%.
You know,
absolutely.
It's cool. Like, honestly, really super cool. Like, and like now you're collabing with other guests we've had on. Like, go back, guys, go back. Listen to like Mr. Autogrow's show. Like get a feel for what he has going on. Like these guys we have on. We don't just have on because they look pretty, which you do by
So
the
they
way.
do.
Especially in that badass t-shirt.
Shout out to Brett.
But like, it's because you're doing cool shit, So, respect, brother, respect.
I appreciate that.
And yeah, everyone be on the lookout for August 1st. Where can they go to buy some of these beans? How can they do it?
Yeah, so that drop's going to be off our website. It's just alabriehegenetics.com. If you're not already on our mailing list, you can sign up and you won't miss the info, or just follow us on Instagram or join our Discord. And yeah, you'll hear all about it.
Awesome. Don't miss out. Because it ain't coming back until someone does a reversal. But that could be months. That could be a year.
Not only that, but it might not ever come out the same.
Yeah, it might not even happen. It's going to be different. Exactly. Because the man himself ain't going to be part of it. Like that's like, I'm glad you guys clarified.
Yeah. No, there's only going to be like 50 to 60 packs of the Coley Breno and like 100 packs or so of the De Sobrano. So not a ton. And I think there's maybe like only like 30-ish or so drug war bundles. So yeah, not a ton. So it's at 4:20 in the afternoon on the East Coast.
Line up.
Come shout us out on the corn moon.
On the corn moon. All right. I'm gonna have to I'm literally gonna trample elderly people to get at the front of this line, my friend. It's going to be like
that's some serious
mayhem on a Black Friday. I need this shirt, and I of course need the. I think the one that appeals to me the most was the Malawi, the the zebra frog.
That's right.
I'm not gonna have. They both. I'm gonna have to look at. I'm going to have to think carefully because, dude, the Bundaroo, I know I usually advise against it, but this is one I can recommend.
It's for a good cause, so
of course it is, man.
You can feel good about it.
Cap approved.
Fucking fire, too. It's like you make the decision hard, at least. You make the decision hard. So it's like, and I'll just get them both. Fuck it.
That's the correct answer.
Fuck it. I'll get them both. You know how many times I've said that?
I've seen the amount of seeds on your table, so yes.
I'll get them both. Man, all right. Well, you're the man. Once again, thank you very much for coming on. And again, yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thanks, Monster. Thanks, G3.
A pleasure as always.
Thank you guys for having me again. It was a blast as always.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, we love you.
Over and out. And until next time, of course, don't get caught.
Don't get caught.
Wait, you got me blowing kisses. I meant to salute here. All right, don't get caught. Peace.